Hi there, how you doing? It's me and I'm back for just one quick video. You should have gotten your essay in by now, and as you know, there's one last piece of assessment coming up, the exam. Seriously though, it's not that bad. In this video, I just wanted to talk to you about the exam, what to expect and how to prepare. In particular, remember the exam that is only worth 10% of your overall grade. So you do need to do the exam, but really it's not going to influence your grade in any huge way. First of all, make sure that you've got the date and time correct. Click the link here to check, and you should double check and triple check that you've got it right. Make sure you're at the exam venue early. Don't make yourself stressed about that at all. I've got a policy though where I don't tell anyone what the date and time is because I don't want to get any blame. I don't want someone to say, oh, Chad told me the lecture or the exam was on Sunday and therefore I missed the exam, it's his fault. Make sure you know for yourself. Don't take anyone else's word for it. If someone tells you the exam is at this date and time, look it up yourself. Make sure you know for yourself. In the exam itself, there's a bit of reading time which is allowed prior to the actual exam. During this time, you're able to read the questions, you think about the questions, choose your answers, which questions you're going to answer. You plan and scribble some notes on scrap paper, but you can't write in the actual answer booklet until the official time begins. So why do we have an exam in this course? Well, the main reason is to get you ready for doing formal exams in your undergraduate degree. No matter what you study, you'll probably do some exams, and the UPP wouldn't be complete if it didn't give you some taste of what it's like. Also, like most exams, this one aims to assess what you've learned throughout the semester, how hard you've worked, how much research and reading you've done, and how you've developed your reflective learning skills as you've been studying. So if you've kept up with all the online lectures, you've done lots of reading, you've done lots of research, and you've kept up with all the assignments, then you should be pretty much okay for the exam. It's important for you to know the structure of the exam so you know what to expect. The exam has two sections. Section A is a short answer section where you've got some questions and you just write short answers to them. What you need to do is answer 5 of the questions. So you have to write 5 short answers and there's 11 options. Now this is important, a little bit complicated, but it's very important. Question 1 is compulsory, so everyone has to answer question 1. I wrote question 1 as something that I want everyone to answer, so you must answer question 1, and that's one of your 5. So you then choose 4 more from the other 10 questions to answer for a total of 5. Okay, so you do 5, 4 of which you choose, but you have to answer question 1. Don't worry, this is all written clearly on the exam itself, so you don't have to remember it here or note it down or whatever. If you're not sure how much to write in each short answer, just put as much detail as you can in the time that you've got and make sure you've answered the question as thoroughly as possible. Remember, demonstrate your learning. Show what you've learned through this course. That's what's going to impress me. As a guideline, you should write for about 12 minutes on each question. So this section should take you about an hour. It's worth half the marks, so you spend half the time on it. Section B is an essay exam format, and it should also take you an hour since it's also worth half the marks. You've got several options to choose from. I think you've got 5 or 6 questions to choose from, and you answer 1. Again, don't worry so much about length, okay? I'm not judging on length or word count or whatever, but I would be expecting at least 2 to 3 pages. You should be able to write 2 to 3 pages in an hour, but you should answer the essay question in a fair amount of detail with main points, etc. It's very important in your essay exam to demonstrate clear structure. Like a normal essay, and as we've been working on your essays throughout this course, you need an introduction, body and conclusion, and in the body you'll have paragraphs which each fully develop a main point. So I really want you to demonstrate what you've learned about essay structure in this part of the exam. I strongly recommend that you spend the reading time of the exam at the beginning to choose your essay question and plan out its structure a little bit. Use the scrap paper, but then hand it up with the answer booklet, as it will help me assess how well you've learned to plan out a well-structured answer. So do your plan on the scrap paper in your reading time, okay? Fill that plan out and then write your essay in the exam booklet and then include that scrap paper in there so I can say, oh yeah, cool, you did a plan, that's good, that's going to help you in your grades. Now this exam was a bit tricky for me to write, to be honest, because I couldn't set any questions about specific content, because you're all researching in slightly different areas, right? So I couldn't do anything particularly just on any one of your particular essay topics, because that would be unfair to everyone else. So what I did was I tried to write questions that anyone could answer fairly easily if they'd worked hard at the course. So to the extent that there are questions about content, they're generally to do with the broad research area, factors that influence the success or failure of students at university. Remember that one from the very beginning of the semester? So in your preparation for the exam, go back to this broad issue and think about it a bit more. I don't expect you to make the same arguments as you have in your essay. You might like to write about something completely different or put forward a completely different point of view. I won't be matching them up to see if they fit. For the whole exam, I fully expect you to do referencing. It's one of the things I want you to show that you've learned a lot about. Now, this is an open book exam, right? So that means you can bring any printed or written materials you want at all. Okay, so you don't have to memorize stuff. Don't worry about memorizing articles or memorizing content and stuff like that. Remember where that content is and how to find it. Organization is extremely important. So if you bring a folder into the exam, use tabs and stuff like that to organize it so you can find the information you need really quickly. Most importantly, what you can bring in printed lecture notes, notes from class, your old assignments, notes from other courses if you want, I don't care, whatever. Most importantly, bring articles. Bring all the articles I said as reading. Just bring all the articles you found in research. Bring books, bring book chapters. Bring printouts of websites if you want, but you remember they're not really great sources all the time. Bring all these articles because some of the short answer questions require you to write about the results of your research, and you might have to go, oh, I have to write about this article now. Also, I'll expect you to make a proper argument supported by evidence in the essay and to use references to back it up. So in the main essay, you'll need to do referencing, so bring your referencing guide as well. So bring in as much printed material as you like. I don't care if it's a massive folder. I've asked for you to each to be given 2 desks, so there should be plenty of room for you to spread out during the exam. One big rule, no electronic sources at all. Don't bring an iPad or a laptop and leave your mobile in your bag. If you're caught with an electronic device in the exam hall, it will count as cheating in an exam, so please don't put me in that situation. That's not going to be fun. Now, obviously, the expectations here for writing the essay in the exam are a bit lower than we had during the semester for your final essay. We realise you don't have the time to polish it as much as you have in the semester. We don't expect really highly sophisticated arguments with half a dozen references in each paragraph. That'd take too long in an exam situation. But as a general guide, I'd like to see at least 1 reference in each paragraph of the main body, and if you can put in 2 or 3, fantastic. If there's paragraphs there that have no references at all, that's kind of getting towards the no evidence sort of area, which I'm not going to be really happy about. Basically what you need in this essay is that it just needs to be an argument with evidence and referencing. The referencing the referencing conventions doesn't need to be perfect, but I do want to see in-text references and a reference list with some attention to detail, and I want the complete information. So the complete article information with the author, the name of the article, the name of the journal, volume, issue, page number, for example, and the year, of course. Try not to be sloppy about it, okay? It doesn't have to be perfect, but I want you to show that you've learned how to do referencing quite well. The other main thing that you should know is that several of the short answer questions are reflective learning type questions. So think about some of the reflective journals you've done in the whole program and what we wanted you to do there. Maybe go back and read some of the reflective journals and the feedback you got in them in uniculture or in other courses. So if you answer these questions, I'm looking for honest self-evaluation of your experience in this course, University Research, not the UPP as a whole. This exam is about University Research, so I want to see a reflection on this course in particular. Remember the important things about reflection. What were your goals at the time? What did you aim to achieve? Then what strategy did you put in place to achieve those goals? How successful was that strategy, and do you need to adapt it to make it more successful? What are your goals for the future, and how will you achieve them? Remember, reflective learning is all about honestly looking at your strengths and weaknesses and finding ways to build on your strengths while eliminating your weaknesses. It's not course feedback. There are other times for that. You can do student evaluations of learning and teaching to let us know what you thought of the course. Here I want to hear about your learning, not what you thought of the course. If you're not up for reflective writing and you go, oh my God, another reflective journal, I don't want to do that in an exam, that's totally fine. That's only some of the questions. You should be able to get through the exam by doing very little reflective learning. You'll just need to write more about content and the articles you've brought in. You won't be marked any differently based on the questions you choose to answer. It's not like some are hard and some are easy, and there's a difficulty modifier for doing the hard ones. So just answer the ones that you have the most to say about and that you can give lots of ideas backed up with evidence where appropriate. If you do the reflection one, do some evidence or give some evidence based on your experiences, like concrete examples of your experiences and little stories and stuff like that. Finally, remember the exam is only worth 10% of the overall grade for this course. It's really not very much, but it's important that you do it and you get used to that culture and that process of doing a formal exam. I'll let you know I'm going to be fairly lenient with marking, all right? I'm going to be pretty relaxed about marking because I know exams can be stressful. So as you're writing, just remember that I'm looking for reasons to give you marks. I'm not trying to find things that are wrong with your work. Just try and demonstrate what you've learned throughout the course and you'll be fine. I don't expect anyone who completes the exam and answers all of the questions. I don't really expect anyone to fail. So, you should be fine. I think that's about it. As usual, if you have any questions, send me an email. Otherwise, good luck on the exam and congratulations on completing the course. Thanks.